So you buy a planner and you're really into it. And then months go by and it's just sitting there, not being used, collecting dust. You know how I know? Because that was me. I finally found the sweet spot. No purchases required. All you need is a blank sheet of paper. Without further ado, we're gonna get straight into it. You honestly could just use a regular sheet of paper like this. You could use a lined notebook that you already have lying around. I'm gonna use the notebook I have. And the reason I like this one is because the pages can be moved around. They can be taken out and placed in whatever order you wish them to be placed in. So this will be an accurate layout of my day today. Now you can use one sheet for your entire day. I've found that half a sheet is perfectly acceptable for my day, but it's completely up to you. So you want to just draw a line down the middle if you are using 2 days per sheet. You're going to put every hour of the day. So we'll start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, and then we'll put PM, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, and usually up here there'd be 12, but I'm sleeping during that time, so you actually would want to start with 12 up there. And then go ahead and draw a line down here. This space will be necessary for other reasons. And then you're gonna go ahead and put whatever time you wake up. So for me, I wake up at 5 a.m. Wake up's not an entire task. It's just a one time, I wake up and I'm up. And then for the rest of my morning, from a little after 5 until 8 o'clock when my son wakes up, I have a whole slew of things that I'm going to do. So I will write those here. I would suggest giving yourself enough time and space to write this out every morning. And it's going to help you have a good overview for the day. If you're feeling rushed, you likely will forget something, but if you do it right at the beginning of the day, after, a cup of coffee, when you have a free moment, then you can kind of think and look at, what do I have planned today? Is there anything that I committed to that I didn't write down? Is there anything I need to get done errand-wise? Do I need to pick up something from my home? Prioritize those. So I always check my task list, but there are going to be things on my task list that are not urgent. So they're things I want to accomplish, but I'm going to only accomplish those on days that I have additional space open. So all of those things will happen from about a little after 5 until 8 a.m. Now, if you have something that is time specific, so say for instance, I had somewhere I needed to be at 5:30, I would start this off by saying 5:30 and circle it. So that way I know that is going to be a time-sensitive task. The reason this works is because it is flexible. You're saying from about 5 to about 8, this is what I'm doing. And the rest of the day will look similar. There will be things that happen that you're not anticipating. Maybe traffic takes longer than usual. But this will give you an overview so you have a plan for the day. And when you have a plan for the day, that will make your day run that much smoother. I would suggest using colored pencils or markers or pens if you have those. Studies have shown that colored notes will help you to pay more attention and to memorize it better, and it just looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So I would suggest that if you have it, but if not, it's definitely not a problem. The reason I always leave a little bit of space on the side is going to be in case something is happening in tandem as this other task. So it does occasionally happen but for the most part, these are going to be the priorities of that time space. This will be an example of something happening in tandem. This is first task, and that would be my son's nap. As you can see, I don't mind writing pretty tiny, but if you want a little bit more space, of course, you can have a bigger sheet. And I schedule everything. That actually helps me relationally, so scheduling time with my husband to talk and relax together. I'm gonna put that on there so that I don't do something else in place of that. If something is very flexible, today I would like to wind down with some light yoga. And because that's so flexible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that between 5 o'clock when I'm supposed to be dropping off these donations and 8 o'clock when I'm going to bed. And I'm going to use these little dots. So I'm going to want to do that in between this space. Chances are there will be some space between here that I would be able to get a 30-minute yoga session in for things that you would like to do, but they aren't your top priority. So my top priority are going to be these 3 things. But if there's space in between 5 and 8, this would be something I would want to do. There are going to be other things I want to accomplish, as you can see in my actual scheduling, but these will be my top priorities. What I use this empty space here for is, say for instance, I go ahead and write out Friday. Usually I do one day at a time, but occasionally I will put just Friday up here, the times of course, and then I'll leave the rest of it blank. So I never bombard myself with filling in the entire day. I always wait the morning of to do that. The reason why is because you don't know what's going to change. If you go ahead and plan for Monday of the next week, hour by hour, and then you find out Friday from your boss that something is due on Monday, then you now have already written out the entire schedule that needs to be revised. Instead, if you have something that's pertinent to that specific time, what you might want to do, this is what I would do. I don't have anything due on Friday, so I'm just going to pretend. I would write down here something that I want to plan in for Friday. So if I have an important thing for Friday that is specific to that day, I would write it down here. And then when Friday comes around and I have to plan it, I would say, oh, I have this thing, and this thing. Okay, now that's going to be short term. That's going to be maybe for the next couple days. However, long term, you're going to have things that you need to plan for. So what I do for that is I have the month and then I have later. The month and then later. The month is going to have anything coming up that month. So this month is July. And then later will be anything not in July. Very simple. So I went ahead and I had some reoccurring events and I put those for the specific day. So I put Wednesday, July 22nd, staff meeting. And I did that for all of the other staff meetings on Wednesday. The July will be the reference point whenever I'm making my daily plan. So I'll check two things. I will check Asana, which is where I keep all my tasks. And then I will check this sheet, and that's going to show me anything I have coming up in that month. So with those two things in mind, referencing that, it's very simple to go ahead and plan my day. If I have any spaces in my day, I will fill those in with projects that I might have wanted to do, like refurnish a piece of furniture, etc. And that's gonna very easily give me an overview. I hope this way of planning was helpful to you. It's not too arduous. It's pretty straightforward, and it really worked for me, and hopefully it'll help you out as well. So give it a try and let me know what you think.